For the special moments and memorable food that the holidays bring. And we love helping you stretch every dollar to make the very most of the season. Get large pack USDA Choice California Raised Rayleigh's Top Sirloin Steak from Harris Ranch for only $4.97 a pound. And get Gala, Fuji, or Opal Apples for just 97 cents a pound. Plus, save time with our complimentary services like free knife sharpening and marinades with any meal purchase at your neighborhood Rayleigh's in Bel Air.
Hi, this is Richard Morales of JJM Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 916-758-8660. That's 916-758-8660. I can pay cash and close fast. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and any location. I am not a realtor or associated with a realty company. I am a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind-in-payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junky houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 916-758-8660. That's 916-758-8660.
That mark the official start of the holidays. It's not even the first signs of snow. The holidays start when you say they do. And that's why our Black Friday savings last for 30 days. So shop early or wait until 5 minutes before the party. Whether you're a holiday planner or a procrastinator, we've got 30 days of savings for you. Make the holidays yours with Black Friday prices now through December at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
It's time to wake up from this amazing dream, even though you're jet skiing on Lemonade. How extreme! And oh, look at that. You just won the lottery. Is that a castle? Take the keys. It's your property. What's better than swimming in space? Just wait for the big reveal. It's Taco Bell breakfast, and it's actually real. So it's time to wake up and bid your dreams farewell. Because toasted breakfast burritos are waiting for you. Only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only.
From the comfort of your own home, Nightingale College is a pioneer in online nursing education, blending both online classes with on-ground supervised field experience. Nurses are strong. Become one at Nightingale College today. Visit us at nightingale.edu.
In a safe environment, Cristo Rey High School is a Catholic college prep school with academic excellence and a work-study program that helps cover the cost of tuition. We have sports, student organizations, cultural celebrations, and many other activities and clubs. Register your student today at 916-400-3478. Remember, your student's future is in your hands. 916-400-3478 or visit our website at crhss.org.
It's an oasis, a restaurant, a theater. It's home. At Golden One, we get it. Big or small, we work with you to reach your goals. And as a not-for-profit credit union, we'll help you find better loans and rates. So owning your home is more possible than ever. So join us. Let's make your dream home happen.
You keep your phone and your number. Plus, get $200 in Facebook ads on us, so you can reach more customers and finish this year strong. Visit your T-Mobile store and make the switch today. Up to $1,000 for a virtual prepaid card for eligible device pair. Allow 15 days. Qualifying credit service, port in and timely redemption required. No cash access on card and expires in 6 months. Details at T-Mobile.com. Ads via virtual prepaid card when you port in a line with 2 plus more lines or 3 existing lines.
It's what we call our Print Big Promise. We're not only committed to getting your print job right, we're committed to treating your small business like a big deal, to bringing your ideas to life and giving you guidance from start to finish. Stop by Staples today and try our Print Big Promise. You'll be glad you did. Staples, where small business prints big.
There are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
The stunning scale of a massive storefront banner. At Staples, we sweat the details and quality of every print project. It's what we call our Print Big Promise. We're not only committed to getting your print job right, we're committed to treating your small business like a big deal, to bringing your ideas to life and giving you guidance from start to finish. Stop by Staples today and try our Print Big Promise. You'll be glad you did. Staples, where small business prints big.
Contract.
And for the first time ever, ask how to get 12 times the speed for the same internet price when you add Xfinity Mobile. Just imagine, faster downloads, more streaming, the possibilities are endless. That's more speed and you'll save hundreds over AT&T. Oh yeah, and for a limited time, ask how to get $300 back. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now, because you deserve awesome internet.
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C Sports. This is Charlton with Big C Sports, coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to people who love lightning in sports. It's all fair. It's love and war. What a happy Friday today is November the 12th, the day after Veterans Day. Give our veterans some praise. I love giving them praise again. Don't just give them praise one time, give them praise again. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. When you go by and test drive yours, just tell them Charlton and Big C sent you. It's all fair in love and war. I want to tell you, so many people are really happy about this day after Veterans Day, going into a happy holiday weekend. And I want to wish everybody a healthy, wealthy, and wise happy holiday weekend. Let's give the holiday weekend some praise. I know we love a lot of sports, but give the holiday weekend some praise. All fair and love and war. Big C Sports is welcome to the show. Say it loud. Big C Sports is proud. You can hear us on 18. It was 17. This morning I woke up and confirmed 18 podcast applications all over the universe. You got to give that some praise. 18? I know, because I counted all of them. That's all fair and love and war. You can now follow Big C Sports, Google Podcast, Alexa Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcast, iHeart-Radio-Podcast, Castbox, Deezer Podcast, Podcast Addict, Pod Chaser. Okay, that's just 10, but I got to catch my breath. Come on. Give me a chance to catch my breath. It's all fair and love and war. You can follow Big C Sports on Geo Saban Podcast, Podtail, YouTube Podcast, Hubhopper, Stitcher Radio Line. Repod is the new one, Repod Podcast, and also Luminary Podcast. Give that some praise. Really appreciate that. Takes a lot of hard work to go that way internationally around the globe. Really do appreciate the way Big C Sports is taking off like an airplane takes off. It's all fair and level one. You can also just say play Big C Sports Podcast. It's bound to pop up in some application. Also on 4 TV applications from Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. Really appreciate that. Give us some praise. It's amazing, like Star Trek back in the day, you just spoke into your tricorder and you said, I love paying homage to my family legacy from the matriarch of my family as I was growing up, called her Mamo Hattie Leach. Made sure the family stuck together through thick and thin. If she had food on her table, then you had food in your belly. My great-grandfather, called on Pop, former Negro League baseball player, oftentimes was very good at making things in his garage, and was very also good at saying, boy, get out of that garage. In level war, known as making the best moonshine in the history of the universe. Really appreciate that. Even in the lightning storm, he was doing something in that garage. Oftentimes, we said, boy, get out of that garage. And then my grandmother, Mud Deer, she was a seer, great, savvy business person, did a lot of things back in the day to keep the family strong, and also things that I still benefit from to this day. Also, my grandfather, Hezekiah, also someone who helped the family stay together through thick and thin. My beautiful mother helped start a daycare and a Head Start program in Northern California. Give us some praise, and also helped us win the Little League Championship for the universe. Really appreciate that. The only black woman in our Little League, and a lot of people didn't want her there, but she won the league championship. Isn't that amazing? Also, on my father's side, my grandfather, the patriarch of the family, Albert Curry, he was a pastor, owned 2 service stations in Oakland, California. Also started 2 churches, built 2 churches in Northern California. Also another one in Central California. So that's 3 churches, actually. And my grandmother, Alberta Curry, she was a very savvy business person, along with my grandfather. Always did what it took to keep the family strong. Really do appreciate that. And my father, a retired Air Force fighter pilot and chief mechanic. Give him praise, praise, praise. My brother Todd with a bombastic voice. Really where I get a lot of my loud speakers from. Excuse me, that are breaking concentration. It's all fair, love, and war. We love giving them praise. As I say, welcome to the show. And as I always love saying what my grandfather used to say, let's get ready to rumble. Oh, especially when the is coming out of that bar. Big C Sports, FP dominated. Big C Sports, best sports show. Also, no scripts, no three-way teleprompters, no producer in my ear. I do it with a lot of praise from God. I really appreciate my son Malcolm, who gives me a lot of NBA stats. He's really all over it, knows the stuff inside and out. Really appreciate him. And then my daughter Daisy, the most beautiful daughter in the universe. I remember setting up for college events. At times she would help me set up for college events when she was also in college, when coaches would come out to the West Coast. And I really do appreciate that, as well as Big C with his wealth of knowledge. Give them all praise. Willie Gov's giving everybody some praise with Big C Sports Podcast. Really do appreciate that. I produce the show. I direct the topics, broadcast the shows. I do the sound effects. I do the commercials. I do all the stats providing, the storytelling, the play-by-play, the touchdown, home run, three-point play. Oh, man, Willie, he's going all the way. I have to be an old-time Oakland Raider fan to understand the old man Willie, where he went pick six in the Super Bowl against the Vikings. Then I do the uploading the show to now 18 podcast applications. It was 17 yesterday. Today, Big C Sports is on 18 podcast applications. You can get that some praise. I started out with one, now on 18 podcast applications. That's all over the world. Number 10, I never missed a show since starting Big C Sports in September 12, 2015. Big C Sports is the only sports show, in my opinion, in the universe that honors God on every show. You can Google him. It's all fair and love and war. I love this thing of Genesis 13:15. It says, for all the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever. Give that some praise. And also the book of James, chapter 4, verse 2, said, we have not because we ask not. So make sure if you want something, just ask. The answer is either yes or no. But it's always no if you don't ask. Sometimes you get a yes because you ask for it. I want to also make sure, coming off of Veterans Day, I've been doing Veterans Day ever since Big C told me about the Veterans Crisis Hotline. They're a hotline, they're experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. We always celebrate our veterans. But while we're celebrating veterans and going out shopping and having dinner and spending time with family and friends, we still have military all around the world that's manning the fort, making sure that we can sleep safe at night. And I know that sometimes we say, oh, we're so grateful, thank you for our veterans, and then we go off to whatever we're doing. But they have a lot of PTSD when they come back home, and a lot of people who are dealing with it now, even as they serve. If you know any veterans going through any garbage, it can even be a family member, there's a help for you. It's just pick up the phone and call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255, or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net, and give them all some praise. Really love giving our veterans some praise. Love doing that for every show, not just on Veterans Day. Really do appreciate that. Also, very happy to be affiliated with Valley Homes Weekly on Dish TV, DirecTV, AT&T Uverse, and they cover the San Francisco Giants when the baseball season is there. But I also want to say thank you to Xfinity Comcast TV and Comcast Spotlight for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, God said, let there be light. Open your cell phones and just say play Big C Sports Podcast. You will see all of our apps pop up, and I really do appreciate that. Also, with the Big C team, the goal is to recruit 10,000 real estate agents and brokers to help join our winning teams, to help put people back to work and help put families in homes. It's all fair and level war. I love what we're doing with the Big C team. It's just like anything else. You have people that look out for what they want to buy. You want to buy a car, you can go to an app. If you want to buy a house, you can go to an app and see what the best rates are on those properties. We have the Big C team. It can also let you know that I'm very happy to be affiliated with Xfinity Comcast TV and Effect TV, as well as TVs all over the universe. Open your cell phones and just say play Big C Sports Podcast. Like God said in Genesis 1:3, let there be light. Open your cell phone, say play Big C Sports Podcast. Also, some mortgage news for real estate. ValleyHomesWeekly.com. You can go to the NationalRealEstatePost.com. That's NationalRealEstatePost.com. ENTP.HUD.gov. That tells you about the guidelines for HUD loans around the country. And also MortgageDailyNews.com, or you can call simply 800-772-8624. That's 800-772-8624 to find out more about what's going on in the world of real estate with the Big C team. and Big C Sports. Really do appreciate that. Oh my goodness, tonight is a happy Friday, so I say let's get ready to rumble! Yeah, some high school football, as I love doing Friday Night Lights. Always going out to the top teams in the United States. You sports betting leagues, be careful, don't bet on the high school football teams. But as I get into the high school teams, I want to say this segment is sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has zero, that's 0% alcohol, 0% alcohol, 100% on its game. Sports fans, when you're watching the big game, you want to eat the Big C burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meat. Okay, and it has 0% alcohol for all you high school fans out there. Friday Night Lights is great, near and dear to my heart. Sports is a billion-dollar industry. Boys and girls sports is the foundation to this billion-dollar industry. But everything that we see at the professional level, it starts with the college level before you get to be the pro. And then before the college level, there's the high school level. So I love doing Big C's Friday Night Lights, high school top 10 football teams, as you'll see fans all over the country. And my PSA that I do for every high schooler, whether you playing in the game or cheerleading, even if you're just a fan, please do not drink and drive. We just saw the tragedy that happened with the Oakland Raiders organization just last week because someone was drinking and driving. Now there's been a calamity because of it, and too many people have been affected by that. For some reason, people just don't get the clue. So for anyone thinking about picking up the keys and driving, take away the keys and you hit the home run. You score the touchdown. Don't let anyone you care about drive drunk. That's a PSA from Big C Sports. Number one, are you ready for the football? Of course you are. Number one in the country. It seems like it happens like almost every year. Number one, Santa Ana, Mater Dei. They are Southern California, ranked number one in the country in high school football. Followed by number two. Well, I'm going to get you to the rankings right now. Mater Dei, they've been national champions 3 of the last 5 years. So that's a program headed by Bruce Wallace, and they just do things the right way, it seems. Number 2, IMG Academy out of Bradenton, Florida. Number 3, Westlake of Austin, Texas, the number 1 ranked team in the state of Texas. Number 4, St. John Bosco of Bellflower, California. Number 5, Collin Hills of Swanee, Georgia. Number 6, Virgin Catholic out of Ordell, New Jersey. Number 7, Servite High School of Anaheim, California. Their only 2 losses have come to number 1, Mater Dei, and also number 4, St. John Bosco of Bellflower, California. Number 8 is Center Grove High School out of Greenwood. Number 9, Katy High School out of Texas. And number 10, we have a tie between Chandler of Arizona and South Lake Carroll of Texas. That's Big C's Friday Night Lights. Give all our high school football fans and football teams some praise. They go out there, they do the double days. That's why they lift the weights. That's why they study. They do everything they can to try to get to that next level, get that high school education, and next thing you know, you'll be off the road in college. It's all fair and level. So again, for my PSA for high school football Friday Night Lights, everybody knows a lot of teenagers don't have the full development of that frontal lobe. But all you got to do is, if you care about somebody, just take the keys. Don't let them drive. Call Uber, call a cab, call their parents, whatever you got to do. But make sure you get the standing ovation for being responsible and not letting your high school friends drink and drive. Don't let them drive drunk. Make sure that you're the one that stops that from happening. It's all fair and level work. Are you ready for some football? Some college football? All fair and level work, Big C style. Love looking at college football. Have a couple of games already on tap for Friday night. Cincinnati, the Bearcats, they've been complaining about not being ranked high enough in the world of college football. So people say, yeah, we got to win bigger. You can't beat Tulsa 28-20 and complain that you're not ranked number 1 in the country. But they have a chance tonight. They're at South Florida. It's kicked off at 6 o'clock p.m. on ESPN2. They have a chance to try to get a more decisive win. But that South Florida football team, they have a lot of talent. Haven't had the most dominant season this year. But South Florida's always loaded with talent. And that might be an upset special coming. If Tulsa can almost knock off Cincinnati, be careful of going down there playing the Bulls of, oh my goodness. This game's sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger. And it comes with, what's all this exotic meats? Last I heard, a Bearcat and a bull were exotic meat, if that makes sense to you. The Wyoming Cowboys, they are at the Boise State Broncos. That's a 9 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports 1. So the game is already underway. Boise State just had a big win against number 25 ranked Fresno State on the road at Bulldog Stadium. Wyoming was shut out by Fresno State 17-0. Wyoming This looks like a Boise State win. The crowd on the blue turf in Boise should be great as they chant their chant for Gold Broncos, all fair and level work. I'm going to get into Saturdays for some college football on Saturday. Ready for kickoff Saturday, the Big Sky Conference, the big game, Portland State. They're at Sacramento State, which is my pick to win the FCS National Championship. So Hornet Stadium would be buzzing with a packed house in Sacramento, California. Give them praise. Also, more games. Now, how did New Mexico State get the game at Alabama? At noontime kickoff. Their noontime kickoff. And yeah, they got to play because they want that guaranteed check. It's a noontime kickoff on the SEC network. And the New Mexico State, the Lobos, will take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Good job, Nick Saban. West Virginia will be at Kansas State in the Big 12, the noontime kickoff on Fox Sports 1. Northwestern's at Wisconsin, noontime kickoff on ESPN2. We also have, in other parts of the country, Rutgers is at Indiana, noontime kickoff on the Big Ten Network. UConn, which just got a new coach, congratulations. They're going to be at Clemson, noontime kickoff on the ACC Network. Bucknell, they're going to be Army at noontime on CBS Sports Net. Western Kentucky's at Rice, 2 o'clock p.m. on ESPN+. In the Pac-12, we have Arizona's going to be hosting the Utah Utes. The Wildcats in the Utes is a 2 o'clock p.m. kickoff on the Pac-12 network on the West Coast. Georgia State is at Coastal Carolina, 2 p.m. East Coast time on ESPNU. We have a good game, potentially a good game. It used to be the game of the weekend back in the day where the University of Miami will be at Florida State taking on the Seminoles, the Hurricanes and the Seminoles. Hopefully there won't be any rain or thunder and lightning down in the big game in South Florida. But Miami at Florida State, that's actually up in Tallahassee, so North Florida on the Panhandle. 3:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. Boston College is at Georgia Tech. 3:30 p.m. kickoff on ESPN3. And then Duke, they will play at Virginia Tech. 3:30 p.m. kickoff on the ACC Network. Minnesota's at Iowa in the Big Ten. 3:30 p.m. kickoff on the Big Ten Network. Maryland's at Michigan State looking for a bounce back at 4 p.m. kickoff on Fox Sports. Michigan State was just knocked out by Purdue. On the West Coast, we have Stanford. Have to get their groove back after being beaten up in a lopsided loss at home versus Utah. They're at Oregon State, which is in the top 10 rushing in the country. That's a 5:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on the Pac-12 network. Hopefully, the Beavers and the Cardinals will put on a good show. Looking for David Shaw's team to bounce back on the road. Kentucky at Vanderbilt, 7 o'clock p.m. ESPN2. Arizona State at Washington. The Huskies at 7 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports 1. New Mexico, they are at Fresno State at 7 o'clock p.m. kickoff East Coast time at Bulldog Stadium in Central California. Notre Dame's at Virginia, 7:30 p.m. kickoff on ABC Sports. Should be a packed house in Virginia for that one, watching Notre Dame come to town. TCU's at Oklahoma State in the Big 12 matchup, 8 o'clock p.m. on Fox Sports. TCU just knocked off Texas, so that's going to be a game Oklahoma State has to get braced for. In the Pac-12, Colorado's at UCLA, 9 o'clock p.m. East Coast time kickoff on the Pac-12 network. Nevada at San Diego State, 10:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sportsnet. And Utah at San Jose State, that's a kickoff in the Bay Area, 10:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. Couple of big games to watch for college football. Number 4, Oklahoma, not getting a lot of love from a lot of people because even though they're undefeated, they win a lot of close games. But they're at number 18, Baylor, noontime kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. The Sooners got a week off to prepare for their challenging 3-week finishing the Big 12, in which they're going to face 3 of their closest challenges. And it begins a trip to Waco, Texas. The Bears must regroup after their surprising setback against TCU last week. Oklahoma, they just got to keep winning. The Sooners offense, when you think about it, 1,189 passing yards, 14 touchdowns since taking over for Caleb Williams, the new quarterback. So we'll see. Spencer Rattler was sitting on the bench. He wants to go elsewhere. But if you look at Baylor, if Baylor running back tandem of Abram Smith and Tristan Ebner find room to operate from the onset, then Oklahoma's going to be maybe in a shootout where they have to come back and win again. All fair and level. Well, we know the crowd would be nuts down in Waco, Texas. Number 11, Texas A&M out of the SEC at number 12, Mississippi, a big SEC class, 7 p.m. East Coast time on ESPN. The Aggies still have a lot of work to do, and then they're going to need help to win the SEC West. But last week's drubbing of Auburn was a huge step for the A&M Aggies. When you play in front of the 12th man, It's a big deal. They're on the road. Now it might be a letdown as they play at Mississippi. The Aggies quarterback Zach Calzada has the arm strength to stretch the field, but not always the accuracy. If the balls are deep and connecting, the Rebels have a potent attack and have a hard time keeping up against a stronger A&M defense. But they're still going to be on a high after having a big win over Auburn at home. Won't be surprised at all if Mississippi State pulls off the upset. Number 19, North Carolina State at number 13, Wake Forest. 7:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on the ACC network. Should be a packed house. When you think about it, the Demon Deacons last 5 games, before the last 5 games, they've surrendered at least 34 points. But they've scored at least 35 in every contest. So they're going to score at least 35 points in this game, but will they have enough to overcome North Carolina State? We will have to see. Quarterback Devin Leary has 25 scoring throws with just 3 interceptions, so he's going to be hard to handle when you think about that, too, for the Wolfpack offense. Now, number 8, Michigan State, actually number 8, Michigan, will take on number 23, Penn State, on the road, and it might be a whiteout in Happy Valley. The Big Ten East race officially goes through Columbus, Ohio, with Ohio State now the lone unbeaten team in conference play. In conference play, they lost to Oregon out of conference. The Nittany Lions can only play spoiler at this point, but they were at one time ranked in the top 3 in the country, but things have slipped because the Big Ten is such a competitive conference. You're not always going to win your games. Quarterback, when you think about this good old boy, Michigan quarterback, Kate McNamara shows a bit more pop on his passing game late, and then the Nittany Lions quarterback, Sean Clifford, is happy to have wide receiver Jahan Dotson back. So that's going to be a good thing, and we'll see if the Nittany Lions or the Wolverines can win this game. Again, sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger it comes with. What's all this exotic meats because of Wolverine and the Nittany Lions are exotic meats in the Big Ten. Who's got it better than us? Franklin and Harbaugh, we will see. Also, a big game in the Big Ten. It's not going to be an upset. Purdue, they just knocked off Michigan State. They're not going to knock off Ohio State. They're in the horseshoe. Number 5, Ohio State, 3:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on ABC Sports before the Buckeyes deal with the Michigan schools in their bid to close out the Big Ten, undefeated in the Big Ten East. They must host Purdue, who likes to upset teams. They knocked off Iowa when Iowa was number 2 in the country, and they knocked off Michigan State when Michigan State was ranked number 3 in the country in the BCS. Well, the Boilermakers, they're not going to knock off Ohio State. You think about it, you have quarterback C.J. Stroud has kept the ball moving for the Buckeyes, and Coach Ryan Day would like to see more drives in and touchdowns rather than field goals. But this is about Ohio State's defense, and also Coach Day, he wants to get more touchdowns as opposed to field goals, so sometimes they may have to go for it and see if they can get that to happen. Quarterback Aiden O'Connell and wide receiver David Bell try to exploit the OSU secondary. Probably not going to happen. Ohio State should win this game. It's not going to be a week of back-to-back upsets by Purdue. Just my opinion. Number 1 in the country, Georgia, the Bulldogs at the Tennessee Volunteers, 3:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. The SEC East already wrapped up. The Bulldogs close out the regular season slate in Knoxville, where the Volunteers, that's a raucous crowd, over 110,000 in Tennessee, coming off the most significant victory to date in Josh Heupel's era last week when they knocked off Kentucky. They're not going to knock off Georgia. Tennessee quarterback Herndon Hooker has accounted for 25 total touchdowns, 21 in the air, and just 2 interceptions. They got to throw the ball deep against Georgia, but Georgia's hard to score on. Georgia's defensive unit has surrendered just 13 points or fewer in every game this year. Maybe they'll give up 14 points against Tennessee, but they'll probably win 31-14, if that makes sense to you. It would be a major upset. Now, another game that people on the West Coast are looking at, Washington State has a pretty good running game. They're at number 6, Oregon. I put Oregon at number 4 in the BCS, actually. Actually, I put them at number 3 for Big C's rankings at 10:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on ESPN. Now, the Oregon Mighty Ducks, they haven't been winning pretty. But what is winning pretty? Oregon and Oklahoma have been accused of not winning pretty, as well as Cincinnati has. But I'm going to tell you, this Oregon team, they just went on the road and had a tough win against Washington. This is a game that they should win the game, Oregon. They still have a tough path to play Utah later in the year, but they return home with a chance to clinch the North Division in the Pac-12. The crowd would be nuts at Austin Stadium, a packed house, Pac-12 after dark. But they face the Cougar squad that has been pretty feisty amid their turnovers. for the coaching staff at Washington State. In fact, this game is sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meats. And a duck and a cougar are exotic meats. But I like Oregon to win this game. When you think about it, the Ducks have lacked some explosiveness, some people think, in the passing game. But quarterback Anthony Brown and running back Travis Dye have at least been able to keep the chains moving thanks to a 50% third down conversion rate, and that's going to help you win a lot of games. When you get completions of first downs, 50% of the time on third downs, it's all fair and level. Where I think Oregon is physical, and they know they have to take Washington State serious, and they will. The crowd will help also. I look at Oregon getting the win out of the Pac-12 and keeping alive their hopes for what's called the BCS National Championship picture, because oftentimes the Pac-12 has been left out. But they're going to win this game up at Osler Stadium. They have to keep the Pac-12 relevant and the national championship race is all fair and level war. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk about some NFL football for the weekend. In the words of the former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, we are back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 18 podcast applications all over the universe. You can get that some praise. 18 now with 17 when I went to bed. 18 this morning, all fair and level war for a happy Friday. Are you ready for some football? Of course you are. As all around the NFL, as they get ready to kick off, they'll say, let's get ready to rumble. Well, they were rumbling early last night on Thursday Night Football in Miami, Florida, up in Fort Lauderdale. The Miami Dolphins, surprising 22-10 win over the Baltimore Ravens. Tua Tagovailoa, Brian Flores said, yeah, he's our quarterback. And if you can believe that, it's because he's a quarterback now. He didn't say next year, he said now. But Big Tua completed 8 of 13 passes, 158 yards, and a touchdown on a 1-yard sneak. And, you know, when you think about it, I feel bad for Tua because obviously he knows they're looking over their shoulder at him, but it's NFL football. You get a chance to play. You just got to go out and make plays. Lamar Jackson got sacked 4 times last night. And when you look at this team and the Miami Dolphins, it was an upset. The whole NFL has been full of upsets over the last couple of weeks. Think about it. Jacksonville Jaguars beat Buffalo. That was an upset. Tennessee Titans without touchdown Derrick Henry went to L.A. and beat the Rams. That was an upset. And Dallas Cowboys got knocked out by the Denver Broncos. That was an upset. So to see the fact that this team, I mean, Miami started the season, I think they were 1-7, but now they've won 2 in a row. But yeah, they were 1-7. They won 2 straight games with the Jets, Panthers, and Giants on tap for the next 14. I guess for the next week 14 have the bye week in week 14. So the Dolphins have a chance to go on a small winning streak. So you got to credit Brian Flores, came under a lot of pressure. And obviously, he's the playoff team last year. Probably not this year. You have Jacoby Brissett that went out when the Dean was leading 6-3 over the Baltimore Ravens. But the Ravens just had a bad game, and they just couldn't move the ball. To lose 22-10, this is the team that Superman Jackson obviously can't just count on Lamar. They got to have more players that are stepping up and doing what they got to do to help them win games. But that's a big win. If you look at what the Miami Dolphins did last night, they stopped the bleeding on a season where a lot of people just giving up on the Miami Dolphins. But you got to give them praise. They found out what it takes to have some composure. They played with composure last night, got a big win at home in South Florida. So give them praise. Congratulations to the Miami Dolphins. I was surprised that they won that game, and I know a lot of people were surprised as well. Now we're going to get into Week 10 of the NFL Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills are 5-3 at the New York Jets 2-6. It's the East Coast version, Northeast version of AFC East football. 1:00 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on CBS Sports. The Bills are favored by 10.5. I don't know if I'm buying that. 10.5 is a lot. That makes you want to say 10.5. They only scored. Did they score? They just got beat 9-3 by Jacksonville, and now they're going to go on the road and beat the Jets by 10.5. I don't think they'll cover, but maybe I'm fooled. But they have one of the NFL's best offensive behind quarterback Josh Allen, and they didn't even score a touchdown last week. The Jets are lying over 31 points and 408 yards per game. So they have on paper a blowout. but they got to prove it to me first. If you think about it, the Jets, they have a shot if their defense gets into shape, and Mike LaFleur's offense has to thrive over the last 2 weeks with Josh Johnson and Mike White at quarterback. White will get the start. They've shown a little bit of confidence in him. The Jets, I'm going to pick the Jets to cover. I'll probably get knocked out of the park with this one. It's all fair and level water. The number 2 game on slate, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defending world champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, on the road at the nation's capital. They're at 6-2. Touchdown Tom Brady had a week off. Now they're at the Washington football team. They're 2-6 on the season. It's a 1:00 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on Fox Sports. And Tampa Bay's favored by 9.5. Man, it's hard to give 9.5. I know the Washington is not a good team, but the NFL's been weird lately. All the teams that were expected to score a lot of points, even like Baltimore last night, who would have saw them scoring 10 points against Miami's defense? So I'm not buying giving teams that's a lot of points, especially on the road. 9.5 points, that's a lot. I think they'll win, but 9.5, they got to show me that first. It's all fair and level war. But Tom Brady passed for 381 yards in the wild card win over the Washington football team last year. Expect to see more of the same when Tampa Bay facing off on a defense that ranks among the league's worst against the pass. Washington must limit the big plays. I don't think they can stop the big plays. Washington will be without defensive end Montez Sweat, putting more pressure on defensive end Chase Young. Just run away from him. Quarterback Taylor Heineke must get the ball deep downfield. I don't think he can against this Tampa Bay defense. All fair and level war. Tampa Bay wins, but maybe Washington will cover. Maybe 30-21. Okay? So it'd be 30-20 they cover, 30-21 they don't cover. All fair and level. Atlanta Falcons. Woo, how about them Cowboys? Atlanta 4-4. They're playing better lately. 4-4 at the Dallas Cowboys, 6-2, 1:00 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on Fox Sports. The Cowboys are favored by 8.5. Wait a minute, they were being shut out in their game at home against Denver. No matter how crazy the crowd will be, something's going on in the NFL, and these upsets, if you call it upsets, if that makes sense to you. Maybe Las Vegas knows something we don't know. But Atlanta has abandoned the run game. They're going to look to continue using running back Cordell Patterson out of the backfield in isolation against linebackers. The passing offense being manufactured through the running backs and tight ends. So tight end Kyle Pitts, he's going to have to get his groove on in this game for the Atlanta to have a chance. The Cowboys, my goodness, they have more talent than a lot of teams in the league. They just had a bad week. They got to burn the film from last week. The Cowboys' ability to play defense is the key. Linebacker Micah Parsons and defensive end Randy Gregory, they need to help, but they have to also get their offense going again. The Cowboys, Zeke Elliott got to run the ball. Dak Prescott's got to be more accurate. And then coming off an injury, maybe they were just something was wrong in that game last week. I think Dallas gets it on target this week. They better, or the Cowboys might be stomping mad down in Big D. All fair and level war. Going to go with the Cowboys to get that game done, maybe 28-21 over the Atlanta Falcons. Another game that's a big game in the South. The New Orleans Saints 5-3 at the Tennessee Titans that are 7-2. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on CBS Sports. Tennessee's favored by 2.5. They went into L.A. and beat the Rams, and now they're going back home to play New Orleans. Still got to find a quarterback that can figure things out for New Orleans. The pass rush should try to get up the Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill, and New Orleans can do that. They can rush the passer, and they got to give some support to a struggling pass defense. The Saints should be able to drop extra men in coverage to line their front seven or their front five to do more. And then on offense, New Orleans has to make running back Alvin Kamara the focal point. You got to run him wide to the wide side of the field. Don't try to run him between the tackle. Run him outside of the tackle. Where there's less meat, he can cut back and get more yards after contact. That makes sense in my opinion. The Saints own the bottom 10 pass defense. The Titans should get their offense strong through the passing game by getting wide receivers A.J. Brown and the great touchdown Julio Jones involved early, and that should help them stress the defense a little bit more. I'm still thinking that the Titans, man, I'm not sold on New Orleans yet. I'm going to go with the Titans getting that win. They're at home. They're still riding high after the big win they had in Los Angeles. If you can beat the Rams in L.A., you can beat the Titans. You can beat the Titans and beat New Orleans at home. So I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans winning that by a field goal, 28-25. Is all fair in level war. Now here's a game coming up that many people, when the season began, they never would have thought that one team would have a chance. And that team's Jacksonville. Jacksonville's 2-6 on the season. They're at Indianapolis 4-5. They could be 5-4. It's a 1:00 p.m. to kick off East Coast time Sunday on CBS Sports. And Indianapolis favored by 9.5. Crowd would be nuts at Lucas Oil Field. All fair and love and war. We appreciate the way things are going with this team. Quarterback, the key to the game. 9.5 was a lot, though. I don't know if I trust Indianapolis to win by 9.5 based on Jacksonville, what they did to Buffalo. Maybe Urban Meyer's found something that make you go, maybe they just found something that's worth taking pictures of. When you think about it, Trevor Lawrence will have to hit his turning point and stop turning the ball over against the defense. The most takeaways in the league, getting running back James. This guy's good too. James Robinson to keep the defense honest. That will help Lawrence. The Colts, they gotta keep taking shots downfield with quarterback Carson Wentz. Quit turning the ball over. He has 100+1 passer rating. It's the highest since 2018. He needs to continue that connection with wide receiver Michael Pittman and also leaning on running back Jonathan Taylor to keep that offense moving the chains. They got to move the chains. They're at home against Jacksonville. They should move the chains more than Buffalo did last week. It's all fair and level war. Here's a big game coming up for you. The Detroit Lions, they are 0-8 at the Pittsburgh Steelers that are 5-3, and the Terrible Towels will be rolling again. 1:00 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on Fox Sports. And the Steelers should go to 6-3. The Steelers are favored by 7.5, and they should get it. Now, don't laugh at Detroit because they played outside of being beaten down by the other team from Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia Eagles, 44-6. They got to find their confidence. I don't think they're going to find it in Pittsburgh. This team, when you think about it, the Lions, they rank near the bottom in most offensive and defensive categories. I think they've given up this season. The crowd was going to be all over them for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can believe that with the Terrible Towels going. Jared Goff going to be under pressure all day by that Steelers front five. And then running back DeAndre Swift. But the receivers will need to step up in the game to take the heat off Jared Goff. I don't think they'll be able to. The Steelers, I got a feeling the Steelers are going to the playoffs. Yeah, they'll most likely get to the playoffs this year. Tom has never had a losing season. This is not the week for the Steelers to get complacent, though. They had a win over Chicago, a nice win over Chicago. I think when you have a quarterback that can run the ball the way the Bears did last week with Lance Fields, well, Goff is not the same kind of quarterback as Fields, so that kept their defense guessing. They're not going to have to guess this week. And then you have on offense this guy's a Franco Harris part 2. Najee Harris running back. He's become a major force on the ground game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben Roethlisberger somewhat stationary in the pocket, but he can go short passes, dink and dunk, and get yards after the catch. They don't have guys like Lynn Swann and Stallworth anymore, but they can go deep with Derry Bradshaw. But they can go dink and dunk 5-yard outs, 10-yard outs, and let the receivers get yards after the catch. The Steelers have to get to you to try to go, I think, the short passing game and let the receivers get yards after the catch. Big Ben doesn't have to try to throw 40 and 50 yards downfield. Run the ball with Najee Harris, or is it Franco Harris? And the Steelers should get that win 28-20 over the Detroit Bad Boys. Yeah, they are the Detroit Bad Boys. Cleveland, this is for you. Well, they got rid of Odell Beckham Jr. That's what they said they wanted to do. And now they get to go to New England. New England's 5-4 under Coach Bill Belichick. Cleveland's 5-4. Baker Mayfield, you got what you wanted. It's a 1:00 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on CBS Sports. Now the Patriots are favored by 2.5. But Mac Jones hasn't been a great passer. Not in the last couple of games. They're winning by defense. And if they're going to win by defense, they got to force Cleveland to pass the ball. Because if Cleveland runs the ball with their talented backfield, especially Nick Chubb, then Cleveland has a chance to go on the road and beat New England. But I think Baker Mayfield is going to try to show that he can outdo, that's just my opinion, in the passing category over New England. And because he can show that we don't have Odell Beckham Jr. anymore, let me show you how accurate I can find my receivers. I think that's going to hurt Cleveland in the end. I don't want to go against Bill Belichick. I've seen him knock off the Los Angeles Chargers, and the crowd's going to be nuts in New England. If there's one thing New England does not do well, it's defending the run. And the Browns, they forget that at times. That's why they're 5-4 instead of 7-2. When you think about it, the Browns, if you run the ball, give Nick Chubb 25 to 30 carries. The ball's not that heavy. You got to do that. He tested positive for COVID-19 So he may or may not be out. That's a game time decision. I'm just hearing it. We don't know yet. But if he's in, you got to give him 25 to 30 carries. If he's out, you got to go with New England. If he's in, because they said tested positive COVID-19, so we don't know if he's going to pass protocol by Sunday. We don't know. But defensive end, you think about it, you got to find a way to make Cleveland pass the ball. If they run the ball, they have a chance to win. If not, it's an issue. Dearness Johnson was also the only running back on the active roster Tuesday who had not tested positive for COVID. So we don't know that. I mean, I don't know what's going on right now with their COVID status come kickoff time. For the Patriots, quarterback Mac Jones has thrown only one interception in his past 3 weeks. The rookie needs to continue that trend. Defensive tackle Christian Barmore and David Goshaw will have to make an impact both defending the run and disrupting the pocket for Baker Mayfield. You want to beat Cleveland? Get Baker Mayfield. Keep him in the pocket. He's more effective when he runs out of the pocket. I still think I'm going to give the edge to Bill Belichick in that Jedi Knight defense. I'm going to go with New England in that game, maybe 24-21 over the Browns. Minnesota's 3-5 at the LA Chargers, 5-3. Minnesota's been in almost every game this year. They just haven't been able to win. It's a 4:05 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on Fox Sports. The Chargers are 3.5-point favorites. I know the Chargers went on the road and they beat Philadelphia with a last-second field goal, but they're going to be at home now at SoFi Stadium. Put the ball in the Vikings. Put the ball in running back Dalvin Cook's hands, and you can get it. You can get some exposure against the Chargers defense. The Lightning Bolts are not very good on defense. They need more lightning in their defense. You can expose their defense against the run game. Doing so is going to help control the time of possession and shorten the field for quarterback Kirk Cousins. Remember, the Ravens had to come from behind to beat the Vikings. Dallas had to come from behind to beat the Vikings. I don't know if that says the Vikings have a bad defense and a good offense or what it is. But something tells me Minnesota's going to hang around this game. It's going to be a turnover game. And with Kirk Cousins outplayed, I don't know. I don't know how to pick this game. But the Las Vegas has the Chargers by 3.5. And that's a shaky 3.5 for the Thunderbolts at home because I just don't have a lot of confidence in them at time. And when you think about it, the Chargers offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, must drop a game plan that puts quarterback touchdown Justin Herbert in a manageable situation early and often. Defensively, LA has to be strong along the interior to limit Cook from running up and down the field. Also, quarterback Michael Davis and Asante Samuel Jr. must be on their A games to neutralize the wide receivers Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Something tell me that Minnesota's going to win this game. I know it's not a popular thing, but Minnesota's probably going to win it 28-27. Just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. It's all fair and love more. Carolina, North Carolina. They got the great Cam Newton back, but he's not going to start this game. They're 4-5 at Arizona, 8-1. This game is sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meats? And a Cardinal and a Panther are exotic meats. It's all fair and love and more. Talk about Arizona. They're the best team in football. It's a 4:05 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on Fox Sports. And the Cardinals are favored by 10.5. The crowd's going to be nuts. 10.5 is a lot. But I saw what they did to San Francisco just last week up at Levi Stadium, 31-17. And at a time they were up 17-0 because of turnovers. I think right now Arizona's playing as well as anybody in football. The Panthers, with running back Christian McCaffrey back in the saddle, they need to rely on him as a run-pass option. I mean, giving the ball out of the backfield, also throw it to him out of the backfield. Arizona allows 111 yards rushing per game. That's 4.8 yards per attempt. That's good news for Carolina's run game. Carolina has to lead on this top 7 defense to limit Arizona's top 5 scoring offense. We saw how New England went into Carolina and just beat them up. Arizona's a better team than New England. The keys for the Arizona, they have to get an early lead and create turnovers. They did that against San Francisco. They sacked Jimmy G. I think they sacked him 4 times last week. They're pretty much unbeatable when their defense is rolling like that. If they do that, the Panthers won't be able to get McCaffrey involved. After Carolina's quarterback Sam Darnold, 3 interceptions in Week 9, Arizona's going to be willing to let them try to beat them in the pass game. I'm telling you, this is the game for Arizona to shore. They're favored by 10.5. It's hard to give a point 10.5 in the NFL. I'm going to say they win 31-21. They don't cover 10.5, but they will win the game. Philadelphia at Denver. Philadelphia is 3-6 at Denver, 5-4. Man, Denver got the groove back, beating up on the NFC East leading Dallas Cowboys. It's a 4:25 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on CBS Sports. The Broncos are favored by 2.5 at home. That's a good point spread. The crowd will be nuts. The Eagles quarterback, Jalen Hurts, he leads the team in both through the air and on the ground. That's not good when you're the leading rusher as a quarterback. He's been inconsistent on deep passes, so attacking the middle of the field with short and intermediate passes might be his best game plan. How about this? If he's leading the team in rushing, how about a lot of rollouts? Give him the chance to do a lot of rollout passes as opposed to dropping back in the pocket. All fair and level more. Bring up the secondary when he's rolling right or rolling left. For the Broncos, quarterback Teddy touchdown. Bridgewater has to protect the ball. The offensive coordinator, Pat Shurmur, should feed Melvin Gordon III and Devontae Williams after they combined for 191 rushing yards down in Texas in Week 9. The line could struggle to fend off sack-happy defenders Javon Hargrave and John Sweat, but I like Denver being up front in that mile-high crowd. No thunderstorms on target, but they will have a loud crowd noise. I'm going to go with Denver to get the win over Philadelphia. I'm going to give them a touchdown win, 28-21. The Broncos mile high is all fair and level war. Hard to catch those good old boys when you're trying to get a win. I'm going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. When we come back, going to finish off on 3 more NFL football games in the universe. In the words of the former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, we are back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 18. That's 18 podcast applications all over the universe. 18 podcast applications and 4 TV applications all around the world. Really appreciate that. Speaking of all around the world, the Seattle Seahawks 3-5 at the Green Bay Packers 7-2. Enough of the COVID talk about touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, will he play a game time decision? Most likely he will play. And then also, when you think about it, Russell Wilson is back after having an injury to his finger and has recovered fast, so he's back. A 4:25 p.m. kickoff East Coast time, Sunday on CBS Sports. The Packers are a 3.5-point favorite. I don't think Seattle's won a game at Lambeau Field in about a decade and a half. The Seahawks, they got to create explosive plays and stop the run. They could get Wilson. Wilson's back. That's what they're saying. He's going to be back to start this game, Pete Carroll. But even if Geno Smith plays, it's going to be Russell Wilson. We know that. Trying to get big plays, wide receiver DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett going, that is a big priority for the Seattle. Even back in Seattle, they're clapping for that. They got Russell Wilson back. He knows how to get the ball into the hands of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Together, those two guys, 17 catches of the last of at least 20 yards this season. So they're big-time playmakers like lightning in a bottle. They got to get DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett the ball. For the Green Bay Packers, just relax. But don't relax in the game. Relax about all the COVID talk. The organization got fined. Touchdown Aaron Rodgers got fined $14,000. He had that money in his sock. And then at the same time, the Packers, they went into Kansas City and barely lost that game with Jordan Love, actually. They barely lost the game with Love. And they said, what's Love got to do? That's what Kansas City fans, what's Love got to do with it? The great Tina Turner. But think about this. Protect the quarterback, create turnovers, and bounce back on special teams. Playing better along the offensive line is a must. Getting back, I guess left tackle David Bakhtiari should help also. The defense, it lives off takeaways. Seattle doesn't turn the ball over a lot with touchdown Russell Wilson, but Seattle has turned the ball over only 4 times. So they don't turn the ball over a lot, but I just think with Aaron Rodgers coming back, he really had a bye week because he had the chance to rest up. Even with COVID, I think it's going to find he and Devontae Adams will sync up, and most likely that 3.5-point favorite by Green Bay is not a lot, but they'll most likely win 28-24, something like that. I think they'll cover that spread at Lambeau Field. All fair and level war. A big game down in the desert, the city of Las Vegas. Man, the Raiders are they got rid of John Gruden, and then the Henry Ruggs III, he had the tragic accident, and then they lose to New York, the Giants, which is not a good team at all. It's an 8:20 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on NBC Sports. The Chiefs are favored by 2.5 in the desert. And I don't know if they can win because they just have not looked well this year. For the Chiefs, try to force the Raiders quarterback touchdown Derek Carr. out of the pocket and limit his numbers of shots down the field. They love going deep. They love going deep in the valley of the I guess what do you call it? The Valley of Vegas now? The Valley of Vegas, the Vegas Valley, down in the Silver State. The Raiders like to throw deep, but they did. Come on, the Raiders couldn't beat the New York Giants. The Chiefs had just beat the Giants. I don't know how to pick this game. The Raiders may be emotionally out of it based on everything that's happened to them so far, but they gotta try not to turn the ball over the way they did against the New York Giants. So the Chiefs should be able to pick apart the linebackers and safeties. That's where touchdown Patrick Mahomes has to get his groove back. He has to do that. For the Raiders, Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue, they have arguably the best duo of edge rushers, but it didn't help against the Giants. If you can't beat the Giants, I know it was an early start on the road. If there's one quarterback that I want to see if he can lead my team to a victory, I'm still going to go with a touchdown Patrick Mahomes. If they can create pressure and make the Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes feel uncomfortable, Las Vegas has a chance. But they win so many close games, and I think this is going to be another close game where the Chiefs maybe win it with a field goal and win this game 24-21. I'm going to go with the Chiefs over the Raiders because I think the Raiders still have some emotional issues going on, all fair and level war. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party! That's what they say over in San Francisco. Bang, bang, not again. The LA Rams, the Odell Beckham Jr. now in the saddle, not going to play in this game, but their offense is loaded. They're 7-2, coming off of a home loss to the Tennessee Titans. They're 7-2 on the road at San Francisco, 3-5. The Niners are 1-11 in their last 12 games with the coach Shanahan in San Francisco. Man, that hurts. I don't know what's going on with the Niners organization. They're probably going to start Jimmy G. If the Niners go to 3-6, you'll see Trey Lance starting next week. There's a chance they could upset the Rams, but I doubt it. If the Rams are going to lose 2 in a row. Keys to the game, quarterback touchdown Matthew Stafford has to avoid turnovers. A heavy dose of wide receiver Cooper Kupp against a bad San Francisco 49ers defense. It should provide plenty of firepower to put up points. Defensive line Aaron Donald and defensive end Von Miller could have a field day on defense. Von Miller had a field day when he played in Super Bowl 50 over in San Francisco, that same stadium, Levi Stadium. Man, Jimmy G got sacked 4 times last week against Arizona's defense. The Rams defense might be a little bit better. Now the 49ers, don't give up. It's not over. They simply cannot give the ball away on offense. Kittle had a fumble last week, and then they had Ayuk put the ball on the ground, and they got down to an early hole against Arizona because of turnovers. If they don't turn the ball over, they may have a chance down the edge. A full stash of weapons is available on the quarterback, Jimmy G, and who has been a little bit better lately, but he didn't have a lot of time to throw against Arizona. Now he has touchdown George Kittle's back in the saddle, who had an injury before, but also fumbled last week trying to get more yards. Wide receiver Brandon got to play better. And then San Francisco has to get he and wide receiver Deebo Samuel to have some big plays if they're going to keep up with the Rams. It's all fair and love and war. This is a battle of the AFC West juggernauts. I'm going to go, man, I hate picking against the Niners because they give me press passes. I don't even mind being wrong. The 49ers were a huge upset. The 49ers were a big upset over the LA Rams. 24-21. The 49ers, bang, bang, Niner game. They will win the game of Monday Night Football on ESPN. You heard it first here. The 49ers break their losing streak at Levi Stadium. It's all fair and love and war. If you're ready for some basketball, we got a light basketball scheduled for you tonight. NBA basketball Friday night. The New York Knicks at Charlotte, 7 o'clock p.m. tip-off. And then Detroit at Cleveland. Cleveland, this is for you. 7:30 p.m. tip-off. Milwaukee at Boston. The Milwaukee, the defending NBA champion. Bucks, they're at the Boston Celtics. That game's tipping off at 7:30 p.m. in Boston. Brooklyn is at New Orleans down south, 8 o'clock p.m. East Coast time tip-off. Phoenix is at Memphis. Ja Morant, Chris Paul, Devin Booker. Want to see them little boys do their thing. Portland Trailblazers. Man, a lot of issues going on in Portland. They're at Houston. 2 organizations that are struggling this year. Sacramento Kings at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Maybe the Kings get a win. They got to get the 3-point basket dropping again. Guys like Buddy Hield, it's all fair and love and war. They should get a win down in OKC. They should get a win down in OKC. The Sacramento Kings should get a win down in OKC. All's fair and love and war. Dallas, that game tips off at 8 o'clock p.m. Dallas is at San Antonio, 8:30 p.m. tip-off. Atlanta is at Denver up at Mile High at 9 o'clock p.m. tip-off. Joker should be back in the game tonight after being suspended. I don't know if he's going to be back tonight or not, but he was suspended the game after the push that he had. It's all fair and love and war. Chicago playing great basketball, but I'm going to say with them lately. Minnesota at the LA Lakers down at Staples Center. The Lakers should get that win. Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony Davis, all fair and love and war. Chicago Bulls at the Golden State Warriors. Warriors, come out and play. Warriors got to come out and play. NBA best Golden State Warriors, 10-1 on the season. Steph Curry, probably stew him in for another 30 points tonight. Wiggins is playing great. I really like the way Draymond Green has played on this team. He set the tone for the defense, and the Golden State Warriors should get a win tonight at beautiful Chase Center in downtown San Francisco, or just south of downtown San Francisco. Going to close out Friday night with some NHL. Are you ready for some NHL? NHL Friday night games. Calgary at Toronto, 7 o'clock p.m. Drop of the ice. Edmonton at Buffalo, 7 o'clock p.m. Drop of the ice. Philadelphia at Carolina, 7 o'clock p.m. Drop of the puck. And then Washington at Columbus, 7 o'clock p.m. And then Arizona at Chicago, drop of the puck, 7 o'clock p.m. It's all fair and level war. Big C's Friday Night Lights, high school football, some college football. We brought that to you. Also, the NFL is amazing. A lot of upsets. Maybe this week things will get back on track. And then finish off with NBA basketball and some hockey. Back in the days, there's a man by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, you flow like a butterfly, you sting like a bee, you rumble, young man, rumble. With all you've got to use, how can you lose? Ali said, I'm pretty, I can't possibly be beat with all these big C burgers. It makes me light on my feet. So that's why I float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I rumble, young man, rumble. It's all fair and love and war. As my beautiful mama always says, there's never, ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. If you know any man, woman, or child going through that garbage, pick up the phone and ask for help, because no man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. And as we always tell you, on 18 Big C Sports podcast platforms, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super, fantastic day. Be safe, don't drink and drive.